Hello and welcome to Yin Yoga for liver support. As I was saying before, the liver meridian starts in the gut and then it moves through the inner thighs and down to our feet. The gallbladder meridian is on the outside of the legs, again coming from within the organs and then spreading out and going through the point in our glutes that we often feel is tight, and then coming back in and down the outer edge of the leg. So we're going to focus on doing some stretches to create space for more energy to flow through the liver and gallbladder meridians today. You're going to want to have perhaps a pillow to sit on, help you lift your seat up, and then a strap for doing some assisted movements with the stretches. So we'll first begin by taking a nice deep breath in. And you can let it all go. Feel your sit bones rooting down into the earth, connecting you deeper and deeper. And as we release some energy down, recognize the support the earth provides in return. And allow that energy to move up your spine and out your crown. Belly breath as you inhale, letting the belly be loose and expansive. And as you exhale, soften, giving weight to the earth while you press your belly button in towards your spine and then lift it slightly up. And then let it relax as you inhale. Lifting Uddiyana Bandha, the base of the spine or your pelvic floor, and pressing the belly button back towards the spine and then gently lifting it up towards the heart. Feeling as though you're growing taller out the crown. And as you exhale, soften. First thing we're going to do is just walk our hands out in front of us and lower the head down. Nice gentle stretch for the hips. Pressing into the palm of your hands, sending weight back into your sit bones. Perhaps you come down to elbows and let your forehead round down. Gently walk your hands back up, bringing the strap into the right foot. So just placing it around the ball of your right foot. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extend that foot out in front of us and then open it up to a 45-degree angle. So we have a wide leg. The other is bent. Inhale, lift your arm up overhead. And exhale, drop your sit bones down into the earth again. From here, we might lean towards the toes to a nice side stretch. Making sure to keep the left hip rooted down. As you inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Maybe press the strap into your foot into the strap, and open your heart up towards the front. And as you exhale, drop your weight down, lift your belly button in and up towards the crown. Next inhale, bringing yourself all the way up. We're going to turn our torso towards the foot that's extended and grab onto the strap with both hands. From here, you're going to just walk yourself forwards and down, feeling a nice stretch into the groin, as well as the side body on the opposite. And again, making sure that both sit bones are rooted into the ground. Allow your chin to drop towards your chest. And if you're feeling like you want to round your spine a little bit more, you can do so. Belly button lifts. On your next inhale, coming back up. And now we're going to take the extended leg and cross it over to the other side of the body. So we're moving into a twist. This can also be done with the bottom foot and leg extended forwards, or you keep the lower leg bent and the top leg is pressing into the ground with your foot. So your right foot finds the earth and pushes down and lifts your spine up through the crown. Nice deep breath here. And as you exhale, begin the twist from your belly. Our arms are here to support. We also want to use the core. You can place your right hand behind you as well to act as a prop to keep your spine tall. Inhale, lift through the crown of your head. Exhale, allow your sit bones to drop into the ground. Squeeze your belly button and twist around to the right. Even your head and neck may follow. Inhale, coming up. And we'll do that all on the other side. So now your left leg is extended. First, grabbing the strap, placing it onto the ball of your foot, allowing your foot to gently move out ahead and then open up to the side again. Making sure the flesh is out from under your sit bones. And we're going to inhale and lift the right arm up high. Exhale, first drop your sit bones down into the ground. Then we start to bend to the side. And as you inhale, feel like you're lengthening through the crown of your head, even pressing your foot into the strap and using some resistance to lengthen. Exhale, belly button squeezes in. And allow that to help you open up your chest. Opposite sit bone, so the right sit bone now is rooting down. Using the belly button in and up may help you stretch a little bit further. Inhale, coming up. Now we're going to turn towards the extended leg, both hands on the strap. And just using the strap, walk your hands down towards your foot and lower the chest. For a moment here, we can even lengthen with a nice inhale, tall spine. And then as you exhale, feel the right sit bone drop down as your body begins to round. Remember to use your belly button. That'll help extend your spine and lengthen through the crown of your head. Coming up, again, release the strap. And now extended leg crosses over to the opposite side. And we prepare for that twist again. Bottom leg extended or staying bent. Inhale, lift your chest and your heart. Exhale, allow your sit bones to soften, your weight drop. You can also utilize your left hand as a bit of a kickstand. So you press into the earth and feel how that helps to move your spine upwards. Next exhale, twisting from the belly button, keeping the hips square to the front as the rib cage moves around. And the head follows. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, drop your sit bones and see if you can twist a little bit more from the belly button first. Inhale and let that go. Bringing your leg back. And now we're going to go into a bit of a longer hold. So in Yin Yoga, we tend to breathe for at least 10 full breaths or more, giving your body time to get into the deep portion of the pose. So don't go to your deepest stretch right away. We want to let the body soften. So often we back off a little and allow the body to relax deeper. So first you can take the flesh out from underneath your sit bones if that helps. You may also want to sit up on a pillow because it could be that it will help you to bend forwards from the hip joint. We don't want to have a back that's rounded and pushing out on the lower spine, okay? So if that helps, we bring our feet together, but we want to have a nice wide diamond here. So there's a bit of space between the feet and the torso. Again, making sure we have a connection with our sit bones. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. And exhale, once again, root down through the sit bones as you start to slowly bend. Giving yourself a few breaths to move into it. You may even come down to a deeper place. And then as you inhale, come back out for a moment. And then gently lower deeper, if you will. One more time. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you may start to round your spine and your forehead lowering down. If you want to lay on something, you can also add some pillows and have some more height for your body. Because we don't want to feel like we're straining. We want to be able to simply ease in. And once you've found your position, I invite you to access stillness. We often feel the desire to fidget and try to correct things. Instead, what we want to do is simply breathe into the areas of tension. Allow your breath to invite space. And as you exhale, relax a little bit more. Notice if your mind wants to drift. Bringing your attention back into the space you're in. Now begin to deepen your breath again. Feeling the force of the inhale help you to lift your body very slowly. Using your hands, press into the ground. Gently bring your torso back up to a seated position. You may also want to use your hands to bring your knees together, and then leaning back, we're going to rotate from one side to the other, giving the hips a counter position. Now moving into a counter position as well for the hips. We want to lay down flat on our tummies. Place the palms underneath your shoulders. Tops of the feet can be flat on the mat, or perhaps they are better tucked. That works for you. But what I want you to do is I want you to tuck your tailbone so that the front of your pelvis and your pubic bone are connected to the ground. Press through the tops of your feet. Push into the earth with everything that's touching. And then gently just let your head extend forwards, like it's trying to reach the wall on the other side of the room. And it's reaching so far ahead that it has to lift up off the mat. And maybe we get a bit of a back arch. Washer your heels, allow your hips to relax. And coming back into a child's pose. And now we want to move into a lunge position. So it is going to be a bit more passive than we're used to. What we want to be able to do is open up the front foot so that we have some rotation in the hip. So I am placing my left foot forward currently. The back foot is going to press into the mat as well. You want to feel that extension through the back hip. So really root down with the toes or the top of the back foot. And just for a moment, we'll take it and make it a bit more active. So press in through the front toe mound. Feel the thigh bone move back. Press the back heel towards the wall, and maybe your leg will straighten and lift up off the mat. Pressing in through the palms on your thigh to help lift your chest, as long as you're feeling stable. Really rooting down through the feet. Push into the ground to feel your body lift up. If you'd like to extend your arms up overhead, lifting through the crown, a slight back bend if that is available. And then let's bring our arms back down and find the ground. Now what we're going to do is we're going to heel toe the front foot so that it's on the outer edge of the mat. And then from here, we almost let the knee sort of drop because we're going to rotate into the hip. Now this is where we're getting a bit more passive. If you need to have a pillow or something, that's always an option. So allow your hands to take some of your weight. And just playing with the position of this open hip in the lunge position. And maybe this is where you stay. Some people even sort of flex their foot. We do want to keep the ankle stabilized, so that's going to help to keep it stiff. And perhaps press open into the hips some more. Only if it feels like it's available would you start walking your hands and dropping to your elbows. But that's going to be a lot more intense. And we don't have to go to a spot that is unbearable or extreme in yin yoga. We really want to be able to sink and gently open up the fascia that's around the joint. And feeling the weight in the back knee as well. So we're not necessarily just sinking down. We have a bit of dynamic energy even in a yin posture. So we're supporting the body, allowing the ease to come softly. Now let's push the left foot into the ground and bring the knee back towards center and heel toe that foot into the center. And we can just do a gentle counter stretch, extending the front leg, bending the back knee, and just letting your hamstring lengthen. And bring both hands inside the front foot, and then allow that heel toe, all the way back around to meet the other foot. And we'll do that all again on the other side. So bringing your right foot forwards now, finding a 90-degree angle so your knee is over top of your ankle. Press the back foot into the ground. Press the big toe mound of the front foot firmly into the mat so you feel like your thigh bone is pushing back into the hip socket before we start to progress. Now tuck the back toes under and also give some pressure to the ball of your extended leg as your heel starts pushing towards the wall behind you and the knee lifts up off the mat. Now, if we're feeling stable by pushing down, we can also use the hands on the thigh and lift the torso up. Lengthen through the crown of your head as you inhale, and as you exhale, give your weight down to the ground. Through both feet, belly button supporting you, in and up, really lengthening through the front of the hip. If you feel like extending your arms up, you can do so. Lift, and perhaps the chest gently moves up into a slight back bend. And coming back down, bringing your hands to the ground. Once again, you can put the top of the foot onto the mat behind you and the front foot heel toes opening up. It's about mat width now. Now we're going to gently let the front knee rotate and open up away from center, flexing the foot to keep the ankle supported. And here we are back in the hip opener that we started. So once again, you could even put your fists on the ground. Perhaps the hands and the wrists are getting a little bit tired. We still want to have a nice connection with the arms and the back, foot, and knee. So they are going to give support, allowing the front hip to soften and deepen into the stretch. You always move your hands a little bit more forwards, and that'll lower the torso. I find going down to elbows is a little bit too intense. Like I said, remember your foundation. So your weight is still into the back knee and hands. and engaging the core. Again, we want to keep a little bit of activation, never quite sinking in to the joints in a way that is putting pressure on them. Press through your hands, bringing the front knee back into center. And for a gentle counter stretch, extend the front leg, back knee at 90. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Inhale and exhale. Allow your weight to drop into the mat. Belly button lifts in and up, extending through your crown. Both hands come to meet inside the front foot, and then just heel toe it all the way back. Next, we will do an extended wide leg forward bend. This is going to be a bit more for the inner thighs. You don't have to have your legs super wide. It's more or less what feels good for your hip joint. So it could just be a nice pie slice, or if you feel like it's a bit more available and you want to go wider, press your hands behind you and just lift your sit bones and allow that to guide you. If your sit bones want to move forwards a bit more, or if they want to go back, just finding that sweet spot. Then you may just be here and that's that. And this is enough of a stretch. You can just hold it and allow your body to open up. Want to move further? We're coming forwards. Bringing one hand and then the other in front of us. Again, if you feel like you want to have a pillow or something to rest on. And then allowing that yin space to become available. Using the breath, maybe inhale, lift slightly out of the posture a bit. And then allow your sit bones and your legs to feel heavier and heavier as you round your back. Allow your chin to drop into your chest. Finding a position you can hold for 5 to 10 more breaths. The liver is associated with anger when it is feeling out of balance. Sometimes a posture such as this can start to stir the anger in us. Simply observing what happens for yourself. If there is some resistance, irritation, or thoughts that arise, just letting them exist, letting yourself feel how you feel, while using your breath as a means to soften and perhaps release some of the tension. You can invite some activation through the thighs by lifting the kneecaps and feeling if that adds extension of your inner thighs. And softening, allowing that energy to move through you and into the ground beneath you. Inhale with a deep belly breath, finding the floor with the palm of your hands. And using that inhale to lift yourself back up. Being very, very gentle as you begin to sit back, and then even using your hands or simply just wriggling your legs back together. And doing some more of the counter stretch. Rotating your knees from side to side. Next, we will lay down on the mat with our strap. We're going to utilize the strap as a way to do some more passive stretching. So, laying back down. And we're taking the strap around the right foot. Once again, finding the ball of the foot. And then guiding the left foot up to meet it inside the strap. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, extending your feet. Heels up towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, soften and let your knees bend. One more time, push your belly button down towards the ground as your heels kick up to the ceiling. Now, keeping your right foot in the strap, let your left foot find the ground. Foot can either be flat or it can extend long the ground. From here, bend the right knee, bring the thigh close to your body, and then exhale, push into the strap, kicking your heel up, belly button down. One more time, inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, stretch. And then just soften and allow your leg to move around. So we don't have to have too much intensity in the stretch. It's more about just feeling your hip joint. Feeling the bones. Rotate around. You can make little circles with your foot on the roof, or you can simply just go forwards and back, in and out, just really playing with it. And coming back through center, we're going to gently lengthen the hamstring. Now bending your right knee, we want to actually cross the right leg over top of the center line towards the left without letting the hip come off the ground. So push your right hip down, bending through the leg, and then kick your heel out away from you and feel how the stretch change. It's more along the outer side of the leg. Feel free to use your breath and inhale, bending, exhale, stretch. Again, press the right hip down and bring your leg back through center. And we're going to let it open up towards the outside. So thinking of it like an arc going sort of up and towards the corner of the room as your leg comes open to the side. You have the strap. You don't have to go very far. You may be someone who simply stays here. If you have the ability, you can open up further. And come back through center. Taking your left foot back up into the strap. we'll switch it out and let the right foot find the mat. You can keep your leg bent the entire time. This is perfectly acceptable. As you bend your knee, let your thigh come closer to your torso. And then as you exhale, kick your heel up towards the sky and actually feel your belly button pushing down. One more time. Inhale, bend, exhale, stretch. And then again, we'll loosen our grip on the strap and sort of let the leg be held in a nice sling. It's just very gentle, moving it around, feeling the hip joint in different positions. Open, across, back and forth, whatever feels good for your body. Coming back through center. Just one more time. Gently bend as you inhale. Exhale, let the leg be long, but let it sort of hang. And then you gently pull on the strap, moving the toes towards your head. Nice stretch. Inhale, bend the left knee and allow the foot to cross the center line. Left hip pushes down. Now as the right heel pushes away from you, the left leg will begin to stretch. This can be a fairly intense sensation. So if you feel like holding it and breathing, that's great. Or you inhale, you release by bending the knee. And then exhale, pressing the hip down and kicking through the heel. Coming back through center, soften the knee. That works for your body. And then we're opening to a wide stretch, wide second position, the top leg moving out. Really work to keep both of your sit bones on the ground. So as much as the weight of the leg is moving to the side, we don't want the right hip to come off the ground. So just play with it. You don't have to have a super wide leg. Just be enough to feel a slight change in the stretch. And coming back through center. Once again, bend your left knee slightly. Bring your right leg up to meet the left in the strap. Bend your knees and kick your heels up. Exhale. And then gently release. Bending your knees. The strap can be utilized in the next posture if you'd like, but place both feet on the ground. And we're going to do thread the needle. So if you don't feel like you have the flexibility to grab behind your leg, that's where we can utilize the strap. So we're going to place the strap behind the leg. So starting with the left hip, we will place the left ankle across the right thigh. Not so much your ankle joint, but actually your shin bone should be pressing against the thigh bone here. Now you have your strap behind your right thigh. You can simply guide your thigh towards your torso by pulling on the strap or grabbing behind the thigh with your hands. For a second, I want you to activate by pressing your shin bone into your thigh and back. There's a bit of resistance. Notice how that helps to deepen the stretch. And then soften, just allowing your hips to open up. Belly button presses down so that your sacrum stays in contact with the mat. That's also another way to lengthen this hip. Letting that go. Placing the right foot down, uncross, maybe take your strap with you as you go. So it's behind your left thigh bone now. Right shin crossing over, opening up the right hip. Pull the strap so the left thigh moves towards your torso, and you can also grab on with your hands if that helps. Pressing the thigh and the shin bone to one another. So there's resistance without movement. They're simply pushing together. And then as you soften that, you may start to feel a deeper stretch. Exhale, press your sacrum down into the ground. Belly button lifts. And as you exhale, release. Let your left leg come back to the floor. Uncross your thighs. And then from here, we'll do a slight lift of the pelvis. We just want to, again, sort of counter all that with an extension in the front of the hips. So first thing you do is inhale, let your belly bloom, exhale, press your belly button into the ground, and even your lower back now. Press through your heels. Feel the connection with the earth through the feet, as well as your lower back. And just notice how your sit bones gently lift. And relax. Come back to neutral. Inhale. Exhale. Pressing through the earth with the feet. Belly button presses so firmly into the spine that your lower back is pushing into the ground as well. From here, we want to inhale, but hold this position. Lifting through the pelvic floor. Pressing through the ground. Exhale. And your sit bones begin to lift off the ground a little bit more. Tucking your pelvis under. As you inhale, press through the ground. Even the backs of your arms and your elbows can help by rooting down. Allowing that to lift your buttocks up off the ground. Watch your knees stay pointed to the ceiling. They're just starting to open up. Just gently guide them back towards a parallel position. And lift and then lower your spine and your sit bones back to the ground, or your sacrum. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Do a happy baby pose here. So finding the big toe mound or the arches of your feet. And first just letting your knees open up wide to the side. If your heels are in a position where they can start to lift away from your seat, they open up towards the ceiling. Again, press your sacrum into the ground. Rather than having a tilted pelvis where it's up, you'll get more of a stretch if you actually utilize your abs. Push the sacrum down. Push your hands into your feet. Feet into hands. Allow it to be a bit more active. Maybe your legs extend a bit more. And then lowering your heels towards your seat, bringing the knees back through center. We'll end with a little twist. So bringing your right knee up. You can either leave both knees bent, if that works for you, or extend the left leg along the mat. Inhale, exhale, and just do a little core by lifting your shoulders up. Contract through the abdominals and lower, back down. Inhale, exhale, allow the knee to cross over center, opening up the chest. If you can keep both your shoulder blades on the mat, that's wonderful. Your head may turn towards the arm that is open and your knee crosses the chest. Undulate with your breath as you take a deep inhale, opening up, and then exhale. Use your core. Engage through the abdominals to support your low back. Allow the twist to happen. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. Adjust your hips and then switch over to the other side. So first extend the right leg, left knee towards your chest, bringing your torso, chin into your chest, lift your shoulders up, engage through the abdominals, and then lower back down. You may want to leave the leg extended. Sometimes for people it is easier to have the knees bent as you twist, and that's okay, as long as the top knee is slightly higher than the bottom. So that would be something like this. Inhale, allow your body to open a little bit more, and then as you exhale, you soften into the stretch, engage your core. Nice big belly breath if you can do it. Lift your pelvic floor as you soften into the stretch. Inhale, bringing your knees back up through center. And just allowing your feet to find the mat, lift your bum and lower it, and extend one foot, then the other, allowing yourself to rest for a few moments in Shavasana. Allow yourself to feel the floor beneath you. Feel the weight of your arms and legs sinking down into the ground. Notice where your head is connected to the mat. Allowing your jaw, your eyebrows, your forehead to relax. Feeling the muscles along your spine soften and give into the earth. The backs of your hips contact the mat. Noticing the floor beneath you as you relax. You may linger here a little bit more, or just bringing some motion back into your body and doing a nice big stretch. Rolling onto your right side, knees up into the chest. Resting here in a fetal pose for just a moment. And then pressing into the mat to lift yourself up. Thank you so much for taking this time for yourself. Namaste.